Welcome back. As you can hear, I do have a voice. I am being very, very careful with how much I use it. I do want to say thank you to everyone who sent well wishes and prayers my way via Instagram, Facebook, and within my coaching group. For some of you, you were really concerned about me because you were really wondering, like, why is it that she's not able to talk for so long? So what I was diagnosed with was upper respiratory infection, bronchitis, and asthma. And the very first time I had an upper respiratory infection was when I was in South Korea. I think I probably was told that it was contagious. I probably just forgot because I didn't have it again. And so where I am right now, usually it's hot. It's usually like 113 degrees by now, like seriously. But it's cooler, and I'm very grateful for it. So the weather is cool in the morning, and then it heats up in the afternoon. And so people are getting sick. You know, whatever's going around, I don't know what it is. I don't even know what it's called, but it's a beast. A lot of people have been absent. But I have noticed that a lot of people are just coming out, no mask, coughing all over everyone. It's cold outside, there's air conditioning on and the windows are open, and it makes no sense. So what I have been, first of all, I want to thank my doctors because both of my doctors worked very well to make sure that I have what I need. What I've been doing lately is, this was a gift to me. I like this a lot. One of my coaches talked about this brand, this honey. It was given to me as a gift. So I take 1 teaspoon in the morning and 1 teaspoon in the afternoon. I am staying hydrated with water. And then I have been gifted a lot of these little shots, so I'm taking those as well. I'm not a medical professional, so this is what I am doing. Please talk to your doctor about what you should be doing when you fall ill. This video will be about the lesson in silence. What I learned from being silent. It's very challenging to be silent, to be on silent vocal rest. And so I'll talk about that. I'll get into it. I teach, but I'm not a teacher. I instruct, but I'm not an instructor. I profess, but I'm not a professor. In this season, I am being very careful with my I am statements. I am present. To say it is challenging to be silent is an understatement. First of all, I'm an introvert, so I only extrovert with people that I feel are worth it. At work, I usually spend my time doing my work, sitting. I usually sit outside because it tends to be a lot quieter. I can hear the birds, which I love. The wind is blowing. I see butterflies every once in a while. And there are a few trees. There are lots of mountains around. I do miss looking at real trees, like lush green trees. When I think of lush green, I think of Ireland and Scotland, which are very lush green places. I think of Bryant Park. I think of Central Park in New York City. I really love nature, birds, the sound of birds, the fluttering of butterflies and the buzzing of bees and all of those things. Really, really love that. So when I'm at work, I'm outside. I am busy either planning, correcting, updating the system, figuring out how I'm going to teach this lesson, or figuring out what I'm going to do first, whether I'm going to do a game, whether I'm going to do a video, or whether I'm going to do an interview kind of style, to get the students engaged from the beginning of the lesson. Friday was very different. Actually, let me start with Thursday. So it's been very difficult and different to just be on silent leave, to use my voice in a particular way. So Thursday, I had to go to a meeting where I had to bring my files. And so in this meeting, I learned that the work that I had done that whole week was unacceptable. I wasn't very happy in that meeting at all, because part of it was in English and part of it was another language. And even though I don't speak the language, I can still tell that there was dissatisfaction with what I had presented. I wasn't told what it was, but I did understand that it wasn't up to par. How did I respond? I smiled. And when it was my time to leave, I left. I took a deep breath. I looked at the work that I did. I went back to try to fix whatever was wrong. The person who was responsible for telling me what I needed to fix didn't tell me what to fix at all. I wasn't told what I was supposed to fix. I wasn't angry. I went back to work, meaning I went back to the system to to update the scores. I went back into the library to look at the paperwork and restructure things. When it was time to leave, I left. You know, when I'm at work, I'm working. When the bell rings and it is time to go home, I sign out and I go home. I was very grateful for that. Early morning Friday, we get in. The system in which we used to clock in was not working. So what did I do? Took a snapshot, sent it to the administrator, let them know that the system's not working, and just went on with my day. After that, we received a message that we need to go somewhere and sign in, and that's exactly what I did. 5 minutes after that, we get a message that the English department has a meeting and we need to bring our files. I come in with my files. My classes were switched first, which I was very grateful for. And we sat together to talk about our scores. My other teammates had their stuff in a way that was acceptable. It was, they had the same stuff. So I helped them with theirs. And then when it came to me, it was, this is not right, and this is not right, and this is not what she wants, and this is not what she wants. And I sat there and I said nothing. I smiled, took deep breaths, and kept it moving. Let me go back. Actually, earlier that morning, my computer fell, and so it stopped working. And that made me very nervous because as I was making changes to the system, as I was making changes to the paper, I needed to transfer those changes to the system. Wasn't able to do so because my computer, it started up, but it gave me all these error messages. My phone also wasn't working as well. So I wouldn't say it was my phone. I think it was the Wi-Fi. There's something wrong with the Wi-Fi in this particular area, particularly where I work. Everywhere else is perfectly fine, but where I work, there's some interference. And so I was able to snapshot photos, but I wasn't able to send them to anybody. So I took the computer to someone and asked them if they were able to give me a different computer, and thank God they had another computer. Unfortunately, everything I need is on my old computer, not on my new computer, so had to take some deep breaths, I did the only thing I could do was go back into the library and begin to rework the paper, the scores, the test scores and everything like that. Went to a different meeting where I received some feedback on my observation. Usually you give feedback, criticism, and what you'd like to see in the future. I didn't receive any good comments about what I did, even though they were written down on paper because I saw them, but that was never sent to me. So I was like, okay, smiled and nodded. When it was time to leave, I got up and I left. I wasn't very happy. I got up and I left, tried to say have a good weekend to everybody, and I took my stuff, I went to the library, I clocked out, and then I just left. Something interesting happened. I got into my car. It's Friday, it's a half day, it's been a challenging week. I really just want to go home. Got into my car. There's a lot of noise in the area. And so I started driving up. It wasn't until I got to the top of the hill that I realized that my tire was flat because it was quieter there because the trucks were going by. And then once I got up here, it was quiet. So I was able to hear. At this roundabout, there's a big, beautiful white SUV just perched there. At first I thought, Maybe they are waiting for the truck to go around, but the truck had already gone around. I stopped, looked at the driver. They looked at me. They weren't going, so I went. The first thing I asked myself was, why would you see that I have a flat tire, but you wouldn't stop me and say, hey, you have a flat tire. Let me call my husband. Let me call my brother. Let me call someone who can help you. I started smiling because another challenge today. So I kept driving. You know, on the days when you don't need help, there are lots of cars coming by. You know, the day you don't need help, everybody's everywhere and they're all over the place. And this particular day, there weren't many cars driving by, which is very interesting because on any other day, there's like trucks and cars and SUVs and ATVs and like all kinds of things are passing by. People have all the equipment to help me. But on this particular day, no one was around to be found. And the few people that were driving were like, it's Friday. I'm just going to get to where I'm going to get to. The whole time, I'm proud of myself. I thought really positive thoughts. I was praying, and this song came into my head. My Jesus is a way maker. My Jesus is a way maker. And I just kept singing that song to myself. Now, as I am driving, I am in fact making it difficult for other drivers, even though I have my blinkers on, because there isn't another lane for me to drive in to go off the side of the road. So my spirit told me to keep moving forward. So that's exactly what I did. I just kept moving forward, nervously kept moving forward. I had my gospel music playing. I had the air conditioning on. I'm wondering to myself, what am I going to do? Who is going to help me? How far do I have to go? And so every once in a while I would get out and look at my tire. And as I'm looking at my tire, that tire looked a mess. The first time I looked at it, it was just a flat tire. But because I had to drive on it to get to a place where I could stop, you know how you like, you know how, you know, people, they build these car towers and that tire looked a mess. Like I'd never seen a tire look like this. I was really, really worried about how far do I need to go? Who is gonna help me? What am I going to do? I finally got to a place where there's this huge open space and there are lots of houses over here and lots of houses over here. So my spirit said, pull up in here, get out your car and walk across the street. As I was walking across the street, looking both ways, a young man came and he said, in his language, he said, problem? I said, yes. He said, tire? I said, yes. He said, spare? I said, yes. He just got to work. Now, at first I was standing outside and I'm thinking to myself, Miss B, why are you standing outside? You can't help this man change his tire. And let me just stop right here and say, I am very grateful and thankful for men. I need men in my life. Men are valuable. I could not have changed that tire for myself. And so I am very grateful for the men who stop when they see a woman on the side of the road and help them change their tire. I am grateful for you. I am thankful to you. And I just appreciate you. So I want to just make sure you know I need a man. They are important in my life. You do things that I cannot do, and I am very grateful for you. And if you like what you have listened to so far, like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out. He's busy doing what he's doing. His brother comes out, or a friend of his comes out. He yells at him. He comes across the street and sees what's happening, and he comes over to help later. While all this is going on, I'm listening to gospel music. I have my air conditioning on. I'm thinking really good thoughts, and I'm not beating myself up for this happening. Oftentimes when I get challenges, let me continue to use I statements. There are times when I can be down on myself. You know, I think negative thoughts, I'm angry. But what I notice in my silence, that I manage my thoughts better. I wasn't beating myself up. We get flat tires. This happens. Computers break down. It happens, right? people who are responsible for giving you much needed information so that you could be successful, they forget. They don't give you that information. These things happen. In the Bible, Paul says, and what shall we say to these things? Or what should we do about these things? We are to praise God, be grateful and thankful. Not only when we are happy and things are going well, but even when things aren't going well, right? There is a blessing and a lesson in everything that happens to you. So let me rephrase that, not to you, but for you. That was another thing that I'm constantly reminded of, that these things weren't happening to me. They were happening for me, showing me my growth. I love affirming, you are changing. Confirming, yeah, you've made a change. Checking in, how am I feeling about what's going on? How I'm responding to it. And then making an overall observation about how far I've come. In my coaching program, these are things that I will be doing one-on-one with my clients, affirming, confirming, checking in, and just in observations. These things are very important. And I was able to do those in my silence. And so now that I am doing these during my silent season, I know I can do it throughout the day. And I've been doing the first two. The last two I haven't been doing. But when I was silent, I was doing it every day. How do I feel right now? Just checking in, making observations, even within myself. Another thing that I noticed too, talking about observations, I notice, and I want you to notice, I want you to comment about this. I want you to tell me this too. When I'm going through a challenge and something doesn't make me happy, I hold my breath. Like I do something really weird with my breathing. I didn't really know that. It wasn't until I had to be on vocal rest that I understood that I don't know why I did that. And I don't know why I do that. But during my time that I was silent, let me take some breath of water. I began to say to myself, why are you doing that? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Does that help you? Is that helping you? How does stopping yourself from breathing or holding your breath or not breathing properly, how does this help you? I began to ask myself some very serious questions, and it's not helping me. Let me be quite clear to you. It wasn't helping me. Because in that time I began to realize the changes that were going on. I'm like, well, got a flat tire, okay, that happens. Dropped my computer, okay, that happens. I wasn't given information to be successful, okay, that happened. I was the only person that was given feedback on my lesson, that happened. I didn't really like the way the feedback was given to me because I didn't give feedback like that. I give a good thing that has happened, a criticism, and what I would like to see in the future. Okay, that's what I did. You know what else that became really clear for me? That I was expecting me from other people. Because I just said, this is what I did for them, but they didn't do that for me. And that's something that I needed to work on. Stop expecting myself from other people. That was huge. I mean, you know something, but it isn't until you put it into practice, right? And so when I didn't receive what I did well back, and I just criticism, and no, in the future, I smiled, because that was the moment that I said to myself, excuse me, I know you expected them to do for you what you had done for them. You can't do that. We cannot place our expectations on other people, because when I place my expectations on other people, I'm the only one that gets hurt, not them. And I can't say we. I believe a lot of you are doing this too, at work, in your relationships. But I have to use I statements. I do that a lot. More than I'd actually like to admit. I do it a lot. And it hasn't helped me. But being silent has helped me a lot. Preserving my energy. Using my energy for me first. And then whatever I have left over is for other people. Taking personal time for me, because that's what I need to be healthy. Right? Prioritizing me. Prioritizing my feelings. Prioritizing my thoughts, not what other people are thinking. A lesson in silence. Definitely. Going forward, I would definitely like to continue to use my voice sparingly and only use it when I need to use it. When people are saying things to me that I don't like, just smile and keep going, moving forward. When challenges keep coming, just smile and keep moving forward. Flat tires come, smile, keep moving forward, but also pray. Again, if you like what you've listened to, please smash that like button. Please leave me a comment and subscribe. It would really help me out. Thank you for listening. Go to work on time. Do your job to the best of your ability. Mind your business at all times, and go home to the life that you've been blessed with. Have a great weekend. Have a great Saturday or Sunday. See you in the next video.